Hey, man. Wow, look at this. Hey, Mandy. All right, all right. Here we are. It is Friday. It is beautiful here in the New York area. I've got the whole crew here this morning, which just always makes me feel great. It's like feeling like the father of a great, beautiful family. Maybe a little dysfunctional around the edges, but a family nonetheless. Because remember, people, if you got shit family, you need a new one. So find some friends you love. I'll tell you, man, I've got my bouncer friend, chief cook and bottle washer. We have the amazing Irish music, Muscle City Madman will be with us. We got Mandy lurking out there in beautiful, god awful. We love it in New Jersey. It is so beautiful today. I know she's got tomatoes in her garden and all kinds of great food she's grown. And every time I see her video of her backyard, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. So today we got a great show for you. We have a guest coming on shortly, and if he doesn't with these two here, we can talk until the cows come home. It's been a wild, wild week in politics, so I'm gonna just cover. I put up some things that seem to make a little sense. Tell me, can you guys see me right now? Okay, yeah, I think you can. I hope you can. So there's some weird shit afoot with David Copperfield. It appears the new penthouse owner arrived at the stately Galleria building in Manhattan practically unnoticed, and they said, "I think I heard it from a neighbor. It was the concierge who heard it. David Copperfield's moving in. He might magic you out of your apartment." Well, the guy, let's see, the guy's been complaining about celebrities. The guy who wasn't happy about Mr. Copperfield moving in. So he's apparently a gadfly in the building, otherwise known as a pain in the ass. Um, I've had a couple of those over the years. We all have. So, at any rate, he grew up in Jersey and he bought this incredible 16,000 square foot quadruplex. It was designed for Stuart R. Mott, the son of a General Motors executive. God, man, I wish my dad had worked for General Motors. Anyhow, the bottom line is David's been spotted, but he's not there. In other cool news, and I'm going to keep this news short because we got great friends here and I want to talk to them rather than about all this crap. So we have a story here that says there is now the first groundbreaking mRNA lung cancer vaccine, which is working, has the potential to save thousands of lives each year. That's some good news for a change. While we're talking, I'm going to cover just a skim of politics. My informal question for everybody today is, have you watched the Democratic convention? If you have, how did you feel about it? Did you dig it? Did you hate it? Or use? I don't want the guys out there who are so far on the right or left that they know exactly what they want to do and they're going to call somebody else either a snowflake or a Trump loving bastard or any of that stuff. I want the people who are really out there who haven't made up your mind yet. Now, personally, I'm of the mind that anybody with a room temp IQ or above has figured out years ago who the hell they're going to vote for. And the other story is, think about it. I'm going to ask these questions just to stimulate a little movement in your cerebellum and your brain cavity. Um, have you always voted? And this is a really honest question. You don't have to tell us in person. Just type in on our notes if you watch later tonight. Just let us know. Have you always voted for the same party? A or B? Have you switched it up? Do you have the opinion that you vote for the man and the message, not the party? Which I think is smart for everybody. In other news, I'll briefly cover during this little scintilla of politics is today, Robert Kennedy and Donald Trump appear to be meeting at the same place. They're going to be in Phoenix, I believe, which is like as hot as sticking your head in a pizza oven at this time of year. I like pizza, but sitting it on the dashboard of my car and coming back and it's a blackened husk is a sign of the end times. Anyway, especially for me, as much as I love pizza, hence why I moved back to New Jersey, amongst other reasons that some of you are aware of. Okay, so the last little bit of news coverage we have here, Elon Musk's own AI, and I wish I could give you guys a picture of this, but it drew up a picture of him and Trump committing a robbery. So how's that for weird? I mean, it doesn't get any stranger than that. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it because it's pretty hysterical. let's see, where is it? Oh gosh, they don't have it, but Elon Musk's own system creates a video of him and Trump committing a robbery. I'm trying to get it up here, and if that's a common problem with middle-aged men, but now it pulled up an ad for Alexa emergency services. No, Alexa, I can take care of my own personal hygiene issues and everything else. Hey, Alexa, what do I do? I've got a boil on my ass. I see my cohorts here in the back room are going, what in the hell are we talking about this morning? Boils on the ass. So without any further ado, I'm bringing them in because this is just too much fodder for conversation. Look at the Irish is contemplating. Hey, look at you. How are you? Good to see you. Can you hear me all right, everybody?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. I could tell you could hear me earlier because you were cracking up for a moment there. I hope I haven't offended anybody in our lingering audience or diminished audience now.
Seriously, it takes more than that, right?
You know what? At this point in life, with all the craziness in the world, I'm just here anyway. I'm in a good mood. I hope everybody watching is in some
I'm not even awake. You'll see what I said. I'm not awake. Like
I know, I can tell. You look like you just got up. Did you gig last night?
No, I get what I do. I did a lot of yard work, and then I fell asleep. My son said it looked like I needed to sleep late, and I said thank you. I took a shower. I have my coffee, and here I am. That's it.
I raised my glass to you folks. Cheers, and I'm having a little good
hard work.
Water.
Yeah,
I've already been caffeinated enough.
Best.
Yeah, no, I'm not there yet.
So, it's craziness going on out there in Radio Land. It seems like the world is just bizarre as hell, isn't it? I don't even get really mad anymore about any of this stuff. I just kind of chuckle at it because I'm like, getting mad at it's not going to do anything for anybody, including myself. And I think just taking the humorous approach to life. When absurdity abounds in society, the only way to respond if you're not completely insane and going to go postal or run around joining the madness is to just say, fuck it, I'm laughing at these fools.
Well, you got to be realistic.
Yeah. I mean, it's deadly serious stuff, but what happens nowadays, I think, is they hit us with so much every day in that 24-hour news cycle that after a day of it, you're already overwhelmed. Well, after 4 years of this crap, people are battered and buzzed, I think we all have to take our step back from the technology to a certain degree more than people do in general. I'm the guilty as anybody. I'm the consummate multitasking lunatic with 3 windows open. And sometimes I really know I do better work if instead of having 3 windows up, I just put on some music, made a list, and start writing down it.
I've been doing the same lately. I've been turning my phone off.
Yeah, I've been doing that too, and on the weekends, trying hard. And it's like, Annie tries to help me, but she can't help me because if she says to me, I'm watching a movie and I'm watching something on the news at the same time and I'm emailing and trying to book gigs, I'm just doing it. But I'm not really focused on the movie, and she'll remind me, you're trying to stop multitasking and you're like doing 4 things right now. And I got to, at that technology, man, it's like a virus. We get moths to the light. And I don't know what, I think everybody in the country would not be having this every day, this knee jerk. You see nothing but people frothing at the mouth, rabid weasels yelling at each other. Until the past 10 years, I've had disagreements with people who are friends of mine politically, but they weren't where a friendship was at risk or we'd end up screaming at each other over it. I won't do it. I'm not going to scream at any of my friends who disagree with me. I love the shit out of them. And if they disagree with me politically, I still love the hell out of them because maybe they're seeing something I don't see. But that's the problem, is it's this illusion we have the 2 parties up there. And most of it's fit into somewhere in the middle. And that's why it's so screwy when the real right or hard left take control of their respective parties. Because all the people who are somewhere in the middle going, what the fuck? I agree with lots of stuff you both do, but there's nowhere to fit me in because the guys over here don't like this. There's been funny things that happened. For example, this week at the convention, they brought in a immigrant, a quote, illegal immigrant, but a dreamer. He came in and they brought him to the Democratic convention. And this guy tried to bring him into the convention and he had no ID. What was interesting, that sounds at first like a story that as a knee-jerk reaction, but he went up there with him, and the lady who was at the gate did not understand what was happening. The guy said, listen, our friend here, Juan, has just come over the border yesterday, and he'd like to take part in the American democracy. He wants to go and see the convention. And she was confused. She said, well, did he fill out a packet? She's all prim. She's like, did he fill out a packet? No. Well, does he have a license? No.
Clearly not.
Well, I don't know. I think I have to call somebody. That's one problem with politics anyway, is all these geeks on the ground. These are poll workers and stuff. I'm not saying anything. I've been a poll whacker. That shows what kind of people they'll take. So my point is, they're just normal folks, but they don't have a problem. They don't have any way to get an illegal in because he doesn't have an ID. So doesn't it screw with their whole concept that nobody should have an ID to vote? Essentially, doesn't it make the case of the right? I don't know. It seems kind of, I don't know. I'll tell you this, if it was a Republican, I don't know, but I would hope that they'd say, come on in. You're here. Why not? Get them some food. I mean, just because you're against illegal overnight, everybody coming in with no border doesn't mean we're mean people and want to make people suffer, because I don't. And I don't know any Republicans who want to throw them all out. There are some. They're out there. They're assholes. But, you have to have a certain expectation that there's always going to be people immigrating. It's just that they've thrown the system open. So that's why I'm going to leave it at that. That's why Republicans are doing... Their party is
Neve,
totally
you're preaching to two people who would prefer martial law. Am I
well,
wrong,
you're
Irish?
right. I love it, because I'm trying to be delicate here, but I agree with you completely. When people start breaking shit, whether it's the right or the left, I'm a big one on just stop it. Whoever's doing it, you knock it out the first night. And that's because that's not what our country's about. Although they keep it up, they might. Remember what happens if you're... No, I better not say it. I got a politically incorrect joke. I couldn't say it. Damn it. I have somebody commenting on the line. We have a few guests that popped in. Let's see who's here.
I don't know, Neil. I don't let any of this stuff like get me upset.
I don't want to get you upset. So let's... Bill
No, wait. No, I just said I don't let any of this stuff ever get me upset.
No, I
go because I don't even entertain my brain with who's gonna do what, because really when it comes down to politics, it's whatever they're saying today is gonna be a non-issue. Because how many times do they actually follow through?
You got a great point you just made. How much of the shit on either side that they throw up do they really get done by the end? You made something that I should have thought of, because that's so obvious. I said it last night. I wrote a piece. It was an opinion piece, so everybody could know that it's my opinion. And if you don't like it, piss off. And my thing is, if you can't even entertain the notion of the other side winning without losing your cool and hyperventilating and having a panic attack and then posting it on Facebook, or if you're a Republican and you're running around, oh, the sky is falling, the communists are kicking down the door. There's a certain fucking middle ground, people, if you're out there. Just get into it and be reasonable. The more crazy something sounds that you hear, it's probably bullshit. Both sides have got 24/7 people churning out the emotion it's the equivalent of raw emotion, anger, and rage.
They try to ignite the other people, This is all it is. That's all politics is now, Is just
it's
seeing
downhill.
how offended you could get the other party, how you could get it built up, it doesn't even make sense.
Let's say
no one focuses on the daily things that need to be done anymore.
There's so many things that fall between the rubric of both parties, I think. Again, shit like state government makes sense to run our daily affairs. The government shit's supposed to be big picture, protect the country, keep gas prices low, drill for oil, run a functional, not a democracy, I'm just having a brain fart here. That's what happens when you're an old guy.
Right.
The whole country, we're based on economics, and the economics of it sound like I'm going into Kamala speak. We must unburden the burdens to become unburdened. Yeah, I think so. My point is, you have a government that works. You got politicians who go, we're going to sit down and work on the shit we don't hate each other over.
Well, I mean, if you look at it in perspective, okay, so after convention, I watched all of it.
Yes.
And I do it in doses now because I can only handle so much of the bullshit. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I want wages at work, and then we can go to work and still afford life. Understanding also that we live within the top 2 percentile bracket of the richest people in the world on welfare.
Right.
that in itself takes a lot for people to come here and say, okay, what can I do? Because they're living in a dirt hut.
Right.
That sucks. But we also have a problem with war. And it's not little problems. It's not, it's not about, let's go to this thing and spend 3 days bashing Trump, or let's go here and spend 3 days bashing Harris and Biden.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to see really is like, what are you going to do? We're well aware that you don't like the other side.
Right.
That's
what are you going to do differently?
What is your plan? Or what are you going to do for the, security of the country? What are you going to do to ensure that the government spending is going to what we want it to, and not what you decide for us after you've been elected on a platform that you don't enforce?
Right.
And so you're looking at it now, and we have to start to think about how much of this money that we're sending overseas is hurting people. And I don't care what your side you're on. Stop.
I agree.
Yeah.
We don't need to
it
do
is what
any
it
of
is.
this.
Yeah.
Some reasonable, cooler heads need to prevail. And on that note, guys, hold your thought. We're going to be right back. We're going to go to a break, folks. We'll be right back. Here's Nancy Kravitz's photo, and we're going to get them down here to shoot the three of us. We're going metal today. We're going to go crazy. I'm going to play metal until we fucking die. We're going to put on Slayer when I get off. We're going to have a 24-hour Slayer marathon here on Live with Neve. Maybe we'll get some new fans, man. Some real grinding heavy metalers. I'd love to go out and just play a couple of tunes, some Slayer or something. Get up there, I could even sing that. It's so cathartic, man. You'd be like,
Did you just clear your throat?
huh? Yeah, you heard it first on Live with Neve. Here's Nancy Kravitz's photography and art.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Oh, we're not done yet, people. Something I'm going to bring up. This is Hera. She's up for an award today. Our friend Hera, and I have to talk about that.
I remember.
Remind me to talk Issa in our next set, but we'll do a commercial again. Here's Hera.
Hey guys, I'm international singer-songwriter Hera, and I'm on Live with Neve. See you guys soon.
We are the Sons of Atlantis! And you are tuned in to Live with Neve.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
Like a melting flake of snow this year, I won't be sad to see it go.
Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve.
I would have said it couldn't happen here. The people we...
All right, we are back.
Yes.
So, I brought up Hera right in the middle of the ad there.
Yeah.
And peeps, Hera is playing on Broadway on September 6th.
All right.
Very nice.
Blown up, and it's really kicking ass.
Awesome.
And I feel good. It's nothing to do with us, but I feel good that when I first had her on 4 years ago, before she blew up, I heard her sing and heard the tune she wrote. I just went, fuck, this chick's really good. And it was odd. And it's not because I doubt that people in India like rock and roll like we do. I know there is lots of people there who love all kinds of shit. The Foo Fighters could probably tour and pack millions of people in. But I like a lot of Indian ethnic music, the tabla stuff. I have a bunch of drum stuff that is programmed to be tabla-like, and I study it because it's got these great jazz rhythms and stuff. You can play drum sets over it. It's great fun.
There's a new band out called Rock. Have you heard of them?
Oh, yeah. Great stuff.
They got a lot of Middle Eastern feel, man, and they rock.
What about I think we've talked about them before. The guys from Mongolia, the heavy metal band.
Oh, the Hue.
they're fucking amazingly great too.
Yes, I remember the first time I heard them like a bunch of years ago. I was like,
I'm a big fan of Genghis Khan in my leadership tactics. I believe speak softly and carry a big ass stick.
No, I mean like that. I mean, for me as a singer, like that's the sort of environment that, like, that's that's where it's like you harness the power of rock and roll, and you're like singing in your chest.
It's spiritual. It's emotional. It's psychological.
Yeah.
The whole feeling. Even when I was sitting here groaning out about that. I've seen heavy metal bands. I've had my friends in Cannibal Corpse are huge, and they're singer. The only thing I don't understand, and I have my ponytail in, so I can't do I'll kill my neck, but I do this at the physical therapist every day. At any rate, they get their head going at like 100 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
It's unreal because he keeps it up for 2 hours. He must have the biggest neck muscles.
And they don't miss a lick.
Those guys are ripping it up. And excuse me. In the 70s, if I had a runny nose, they'd be like, now people don't know me or watching. They're like, this guy's like beats out of his mind. He's all wired up and shit. But people, I tell you what, it's nothing more than tea this morning. You can ask my wife. The thought of adding cocaine in my life is just something that doesn't need to be done.
I didn't think much of it. I mean, most people I know have stuff dripping from their face. I don't know.
I've seen it, in the old days in the 80s. Like people would come in from the club and they'd be like, you'd walk in the bathroom, there'd be like 20 chicks in there. They'd be like hunting out lines and shit. I'd be like, I come in the girls' room because it's clean in here, ladies. Never had a chick ever kick me out of the ladies' room. And when the bathrooms are full, I'm always like, come here, girls. We're guys. We're not as bad as you think. Come, you go use the ladies' room and the men's room, because as disgusting as it is, at least you'll get out of here and get back to see the show before 3 hours. That $10 beer is getting kind of lame as you're standing in line for the toilet. But at any rate, we cover a lot of topics here on the Live with Neve show. We cover toiletry tips,
personal hygiene,
hygiene,
nasal drainage. It's good.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're still out there, buddy. Are we still in the echo chamber?
Me and Irish still are. Yep.
You still are. Okay, I'm gonna try turning down my monitor here. Okay. And I say to you guys, if you can turn down your monitor of me, I know I'm probably blowing smoke real loud, so if you turn me down, it may be me. Yes, they are. We're gonna try some experiments here, Bill. You're our psychic sound man.
All right, I turned mine down.
He can't be there, but he does it anyway. How about now, Bill? We getting any difference in our
check? 1, 2,
check.
Mine's
a little gone.
I think mine's gone too, isn't it?
Holy cow!
We did it.
I believe it's Tyler Manson.
Oh no, we do not suck anymore.
Hey Tyler, what are you doing,
Could
man?
have been his mic picking up the monitor.
Wow. I got to hold on a minute. I'm going to send Tyler.
I just turned my phone down.
I didn't do anything.
Do you know Tyler? Hold on, guys. Can you see me?
Hey, Tyler, how's it going?
Hold
no,
on,
I don't know
coming
Tyler.
back. All right. Was I disappeared?
No, you're good.
Oh, good, because I just sent and Kelly Kincaid. Look at who's here. We got the whole posse. We got family in the house, man. That's cool.
Hi, Kelly.
I'm going to do something really weird. I'm going to go ahead and I do that all the time, as you know. But I'm going to go ahead and live stream right here. Anybody who wants to be on the show today for the remainder, dial in, copy and paste this sucker into your feed. And that has just brought me out of politics for a moment, because I meant to talk about this and I've just rambled on about, I don't know, all kinds of crazy things. Toilet training of the Nubian princess, my second wife. Okay, so today we're going to talk about ISA, or ISA, depending on how you do it. ISA, or ISA, is the International Singer-Songwriters Association. Now, I have a flag and a t-shirt and a hat and all kinds of stuff, but I don't have any of that with me, because like everything I do, it's right now, it's here, it's in the moment. Okay, so some of my friends, and I'm lobbying you guys at ISA, we've never even been mentioned yet. We have brought in tons of support for ISA artists. We have had some of our guests include Eileen Springer, Juke Johnson, Sam Rourke, even Gina Jones, my old pal, who my bad, wicked ways, sometimes I get on her nerves, but I still love her. And then you got Jay Luke out there. You got Sam Rourke, Tracy Bickford. I have people I'm forgetting, and I really feel crappy about it because this is a great organization. If you're a nobody out there in the middle of the world and you wake up one day, no experience in music or singing or playing an instrument, and you want to do it, you got a dream. These people will actually listen to your dream and they won't say you're a dumbass. And if you like people who are musicians who are not civilians, we're used to it. We've had a lifetime of people going, "Oh, when are you going to go back to college? I've been in college two times, got 2
exactly.
degrees. It ain't doing me any good.
Yeah.
I want to play. I want to bang on the drum all day. I don't want to fucking work." And that's the truth. So if you get into ISA, you got people around you from the top of the level, because we have people who've gotten Grammys, folks. We got 1 or 2 out there, and we have right now at the top of the Australian chart, we have Levi Colby, I think is his name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Guys, there's a bunch of good people in ISA. I used to call it ISA. And then one of my guests said it's ISA. So I was like, damn, and I'm supposed to be a big brouhaha in ISA. But at any rate, if you're in ISA, work with the people around you that know more than you do. It's simple.
Yeah.
Be teachable. Fucking go in there and go, I don't know nothing. In fact, when I talk to people there, and I've been in the music business my whole life, I learn from people who are at the bottom of the music business, just getting started. They have an initiative and a drive. I'm an old, crusty, cynical guy, but I still feel like a 12-year-old inside when I go out to entertain and do a gig. You know, they have to sedate me. That's why I say no drugs are needed, man, other than sedation after it gets a little much. It's like being I'm not comparing myself to Jim Carrey, but I think he's probably as annoying as I am when you hang out with him if he goes off into the zone. But we're all here having fun, and ISA is a great organization. It's free, and this weekend, all the people I mentioned are up for awards at ISA this year. And I want to wish everybody who's been on the show, I want you to do great and win again and again and again. And all you fuckers who've never been on the show, you need to call me up, call Mandy up, or call Irish up. Just call one of us and say, hey, what's up? And you know what'll happen? Good things for all of us. We'll all be happy. You'll go, these guys are nuts. This show is fun. You'll say, they're ISA approved. We're probably not totally ISA approved. So I'm going to send a clip of this to ISA.
And we're pretty.
The show today, and I'm going to take out any of the, what would we call them, the indignities, any of the bad words that we are known for at the Live with Neve. Yeah, Kelly, Sam is great. In fact, everybody I mentioned, I've met nothing but a bunch of great people who I just dig the hell out of. And so all of you at ISA, congratulations to you guys who are first-time winners and you don't know who the hell we are. I don't go on the show and blow smoke up your ass. I come around every year. I don't send you endless emails. I don't charge you to come on the show. All we want to do is have you on, talk about your music, have some fun. We might poke fun at your bass player if he's a weird, big, antisocial guy who stands in corners.
Not me. I always give bass players extra
we've got
love,
Mandy.
so.
She loves bass players. So, you know, and I do too. I just pick on some of the drummers.
No, you're a drummer.
All those
you
big
guys
guys,
always
they
have that
kick my
weird.
ass anyway, man. You know, I have to run. I do the Biden run.
Oh, God.
Sorry, President Biden.
You better take it easy. Somebody's going to come kick you in the ass and pop your diaper.
One of these days, and it scares the shit out of me. I'm telling you what, man. I think they'll have to put me down. It's going to be one of those things. If I was president by now and I was in his shape, I would have already called out at least the bombers on somebody. You got to do something, you know.
Oh, God, don't make that recommendation.
I know, I'm sorry. That's a terribly black and awful humor, but there's nothing else
Speaking
to
of
do.
bass players, there's a guy up here, George Neal, man. He's the bass player at Halloween, and, man, these guys are killer. They're awesome. They fill stadiums, and they're doing a lot of work on that ground like ISA is in doing, it's called the Richmond Rock Room, and what they're doing is like basically networking musicians, trying to put youth programs together for these guys, so that there is a future for music, you know, because that's one thing AI will never be able to do, and that's write good emotional songs that just grab you by the face.
It's a simulacrum
and what he's doing up here is, you know, a lot of times we're getting into this pay to play thing, you know, bands are paying to go get on stage. And, you know, I think music is one of those underestimated crafts, one of those underestimated trades, because it's always been here. And I think that people forget how much work it takes to do this stuff. It's not easy. It's not something that, you know, you can normally do without a job. So to do it, you have to do all these other things. So he's really pushing to see guys that are up and coming and they're doing the work and they sound great to get paid for that, that craft.
Yeah.
And I really respect the guy. He's a super nice guy. He's an amazing bass player. And I've watched a couple really good gigs up there. This coming weekend, they have the '80s
All
themed
right. I love playing
So
that
everybody's
stuff.
going to dress up in their
Nice.
'80s gear, and they're going to go up there, and there'll be, I'm sure, big hair, and Joan Jett will be flying around, and it's a cool thing to see in a world that's a little bit in turmoil right now. People still do good things, and that's the back to the politics. The groundwork is that there's good people all over the place, no matter what you believe or
Absolutely.
think,
Yeah.
and to
And good
see.
music too. It's
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
and without music, what are
Tons.
we?
I mean, all the people are always saying, "Oh, music
Without music,
sucks."
we're animals. We're
The
nothing more.
biggest problem.
Art and creativity is what makes people people, and that's just something that I think is an honorable mention, man, for the Richmond Rock Room, man. You guys are awesome up there, and I
Yeah,
hope it's successful.
I saw your video that you sent me of those guys. A
Yeah,
couple
I,
of them
I
you
actually
sent me,
made
and
that.
they're great. They're very good folks. And this is the thing too. I'm going to mention if you guys, any of you, are in the area of any of us, like Mandy's band, they play all over North Jersey. They get down here to South Jersey quite a bit. Hopefully a lot more, but they've kind of been edging south, creeping.
Yeah, this
Creeping
was a
like
big
urban
summer.
sprawl, man. That's what we want. We
Ooh,
want
yeah, this
everybody
summer we
to
planted
come hang out
seeds.
with us. I mean,
That's right.
and same thing.
Come
The
hang
Detroit
out.
Madman, ring us up. You want to hang? You want to come be on the show live? Call one of us. We can have adjunct studios. We can bring another person in, but you got to call us and say, "Hey, I want to be on the show. I got something cool
Yeah,
to talk
I'm
about."
networking right now. I'm networking my band, which is the Chameleon Project, and the idea basically is for multi-talented, people. There's a young guy I work with. I was going to work with him today, but I unfortunately have to go chop wood. His name's Nate. This kid plays really good bass, really good guitar. He plays the alto sax, which I know that somebody around
Yeah.
right there would like, and he's 15.
Good
She's
for
And
better
I
than
want to
Bill Clinton
see
even.
kids like that develop because I don't want music to ever go away. I don't want, I always want there to be people that put their hands on instruments and put their hands on, you know, a mic and just get
Right.
up there and do your thing, man. And just like any other
It's
thing, if you're
tremendously
good, it'll
hard
come out in
for
the wash.
to watch somebody grow who's never done it and then watch them grow like when you're teaching them or you're mentoring them. Either way, I love it. And every one of these bands here, they're not just people that I've had on the show, man. They're like blood brothers now, all of them. I mean, I love
Oh
all these
yeah,
people. They're friends. We've watched them rise up. Oh man, Toby, I'm so glad you're here, babe.
Toby,
Glad to hear from you.
baby.
Hey, Toby.
Toby's in the house. The girl from Wilshire Boulevard. I'm not going to say anything other than she's hopping and she's rocking and she's
And she's
back
amaze
and
balls.
she's kicking ass. So glad to have you here, Toby. Toby, our morning guest. Oh, here's Bill. All right, we got another guest in the house. We'll bring him right on in just a second. That's awesome. Toby, I'm glad you're feeling better. We're on the way, and we're here for you. And I hope you get to be watching some music. It's a big old long distance hug to you, girl. I know you've been through hell, and I just always like to see my friends getting well. It's really scary, huh?
Yeah.
But at any rate, now in normal shows, we'd start talking about everybody we know who has cancer, but no, none of that shit.
No,
It's just,
now
what?
there's
It's part
too
of
many.
life, people, so get used to it. We all will have to deal with this at points.
I think
in
the
our
world has
life.
enough negative. Let's bring some laughs, some
We're going to
fun,
bring
some
some light in. In
positivity.
fact, let's talk
Yeah.
good stuff. Today,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have Cooch's
Exactly.
wife. We have Maggie Kortchmar is supposed to be joining us at 3. The last time I spoke with her was a week ago. I've sent some communications, so hold your breath. I know she's a busy woman, and things come up, and we'll say that she wants to come on. She's got some new material we're going to be talking about. If you don't know who she is or who her husband is, it's kind of sad for you. Her husband's written a few tunes that might have sold a copy or two, like The End of the Innocence and I don't know, New York Second. I think he helped write All She Can Do Is Dance. At any rate, she's hooked up with that really shabby, lame drummer singer. I kick his ass, man. Don Henley, what a wanker. I'm sorry, people. Don Henley is one of my heroes and has been since I was about 12 when I realized I watched him singing like Hotel California, so I was about 15. And I saw him singing it behind the drum kit, and I went, shit, this guy's like Levon Helm, he's tearing it up, too. He wasn't just playing drums at an exceptionally high level, he was singing like a bastard.
That's tough too, man.
I mean,
you start getting into those off timings. That's tough.
It is at first, but like, you know, I watched him and Levon, and I've been singing. The only reason I learned to sing is because singers would flake on us, and I'd get fucking canned from a gig, or the gig would go away because we didn't have a singer. And after one guy said he was going to come down and do the last night of a bunch of gigs with us, and he didn't show up, and it was a gig that paid really great, and a guy who I loved very much, who's a reputed organized crime figure. I don't know anything. I know this. He paid us well. He was a champ of a guy. He came up to me. He sent his guy up, the bouncer. He comes up. He goes, "Neil, the fuck happened to the band? Where's Jimmy?" Or Jamie is his name. And I go, "Jamie's going to be sleeping with the fishes soon." I wanted to speak in a familiar language with this guy. I said, he said he would be here. And then when I called him, all day long, we had gotten there the night before to Naples, Florida, loaded in. And at 2 a.m, Ralph and I were sitting out on the dock, just sitting there looking at the stars. It was so bright because you're on the ocean. And we're like, where the fuck is Jimmy? You know, he's supposed to meet us. I haven't heard from him all week. Finally get a hold of him about 7:30. He goes, I finally get him to answer the phone. And he goes, "No habla español." I go, "Comprende this, motherfucker? I know it's you. You can't speak Spanish worth of shit." I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I just decided not to do it." And I said, "So you just fucking decided not to call?"
Oh my God.
I said, "We got problems, motherfucker."
Dude.
And I hung up on him.
Oh my God.
I got
I
a
had
story.
to go up on stage and play for another hour. But that was like, I had to sing like for the first time all these songs off a notepad. It was awful. It was like, I felt like I was getting shot at every time I had to go to another line and couldn't hit the high note because it wasn't my tune, you know? So I realized at that point, we got done. I went up to him and I said, "Hey man, I'm sorry, but we can't do this. It's no good for you. It's no good for the band. If you'll have us back, I'll have a new singer, but this is just fucked." Now remember, this guy had already paid us the day before.
Yeah.
He gave us some money up front. The way the guy would operate, I'd come up, I'd go, "Hey, what's up, Andy?" He'd go, "Hey, how you doing, Neil?" And he'd dig in his pocket and he'd pull out a big old horse neck of hundreds. He'd go, "You guys need a little money, the band house isn't clean yet." That's why we ended up out on the pier at 2 a.m, because we drove down to fucking Florida the night before, to Fort Myers, or Naples rather. And when we got there, the band house still had the band in it. It was really scurvy, and I didn't want to spend any money on a motel room. So being the classy guy I am, I stay up all night, and I'm looking at my watch for hours. There may have been some illicit substances keeping us awake. I don't know, but it could be rumored.
Never that.
Know. At any rate, I decided to go up and wake the band up and get them the fuck out of the band house so maids can come in and clean out. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. My hair is like huge and spiky, and I got spandex that stinks. I'm like banging on their door. They're like, "What the fuck? Who's out there?" Like I would be saying.
Man, he has
hysterical.
like
They come out,
spandex
the guy,
stories
like,
and there's
looking at me,
open
he's
robe
like,
stories.
"Sun's out." He's like,
It's just like,
He always finds a way to put it in there.
yeah. So I said to the guy, I go, "You guys got to get the hell out of here." Good morning.
I was bare chested. I had paper clamps on my nipples. I don't even know how they got there.
Yeah, exactly. And they were just like, I'm like, "Listen, guys, you got to get out of here. We haven't been to sleep yet. We got to do a gig tonight."
He's
And
running
after all
around in a
that,
onesie
then the
with
guy
his back
doesn't
half
show
but
up.
open up, just ass hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Don't bother. It's Neil. It's fine. That's what he does. It's just.
No, I got a
it's
call
part of
once.
his shtick.
Hey,
We all know that it's not part of his shtick. He's actually that nuts. But
it was rumored at the time that there was some kind of chemical induced something. I don't know. In those, if you remember the '80s real well, you weren't
there's
really
some
there,
therapist
right?
somewhere that can write a book on this.
I could have some funny stories, but the problem is I've got to make it a fiction book because I got too many friends that we got into nefarious and highly improbable, mischievous adventures that can't ever be sworn of or spoken of again. To give you an example, once we were playing at a gig, and I'm trying to remember the name of the club. It was called the Junkyard, and had a big dressing room. And my band they had like a battle of the
Brace
bands
yourself, Mandy.
Well, they had a fire extinguisher, fire alarm things. We see them hanging from the ceiling and decide while the other band's playing, we're going to jump onto the sprinkler arms.
Oh, that's just a good idea.
Like braciate like a monkey across the damn thing.
And that shit stinks when it busts, man.
Tear it off the ceiling, break the thing loose, and water just starts pouring into the dressing room, which has concrete like up to your knees and open wood.
Yep.
So it's filling up the dressing room with water like a swimming pool.
Oh, for fuck's
And
sake.
I haul ass across the back of the stage behind the band they're playing. I trip over the cord, pulling the whole PA system's power out of the wall. And then I come skeeching around the right side. Nobody sees me. Steve's trying to get out the other side of the door, out the dressing room door, but neither one of us want to be seen near that dressing room because it's full of water. It was just, I got to tell you, we were like 21 or 23. We were really young and stupid and having a blast. It was great fun. And of course, we went on and played. And I don't think we won Best Band, but there was one other interesting part of the evening that added to the whole excitement factor. There was a big par can, one of those big old gnarly 1,000-watt, 1,200-watt par cans sitting next to my floor tom. So we're in the middle of our set. Now, mind you, because the sprinkler is broken, there's no sprinkler system. They had to turn it off. The par can aimed at my black Premier plastic wrapped drum set starts to catch fire while we're playing.
Oh,
I
like
was
right there.
just going to say, okay, and
I'm
something
sitting
had to
there,
catch
I'm
on fire.
pounding away, and I see a little bit of smoke.
I knew it.
It was nuts. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, and then when it finally started to burn, I'm like, what the fuck? So I pick up the tom, and I run through the club, and I throw it out the door. Sorry, folks, Fire Marshal Bill is on the scene, man.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, there you go, man. I love that character. Like I was saying about Jim Carrey, imagine getting stuck with him in a car on a long ride.
I think inherently musicians are just necessarily rowdy bastards to begin with.
Well, it depends. There's like different breeds, you know. I feel like
we got smooth jazz guys. You know, they're just kind of cool. They do the 1 foot tap bass player guy. He's just chill. But it's always got to be us damn drummers, man. It just always has to be.
It's their rock and rollers. Like it's
also
you know that's what it is.
Because amazingly weird, bizarre.
I'm not saying I'm not going to admit that I've been known to run, down the street with my boxer shorts on, and
Listen,
that was
I'm
it.
the queen of shenanigans. It's like
it
people don't even know,
category.
and that's
We
what's
love
funny.
shenanigans.
It's like when people the more you know me, the more you know of like the crazy stuff I've done, and you're like, how could there not be videos of that? And I'm like, well, thank God, because I live to see another day and be a upstanding member of society.
Yeah, but once there's a switch that happens, and there comes a point where we adult enough, and all of a sudden it goes, boop, and
You're right, exactly.
I think it's our job. We're musicians. We're a combination of a musician's sort of like a clown, and then you got the built-in therapy factor that we can give you through our music and our sound of changing your mood from really shitty to get on up on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Got a hot tub. Any rate, Bill's waiting backstage going, what the fuck? I'm so sorry,
Bill.
We'll
Get
bring him
Bill
on,
on
man. They're just sitting there.
here.
For a minute there, I felt like I had the joke writer in the back, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
you doing,
nice
Bill?
to see you.
For everybody watching, we have Bill Puig, bass player par excellence, Legion of Prague member, and host of the Prague show, which I have my note here. But I'll let you cover it, Bill. Take it away.
Huh? It's called Propaganda.
Yeah, it's what's on the agenda for today. So what are you guys doing? You're playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Not tonight. We played a gig last Saturday.
Okay, I'm confusing the two,
but
how was it?
We have one coming up at the Vogel at the Camp Basie Theater in about 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Hey.
The 13th.
That's the one I have in my notes that I'm going to try and make it to your esteemed show because I want to catch you at my favorite venue around here. Nice little tight room, man. Great sound.
It is a nice place. We're getting a nice turnout there too. Last check, I think we sold about 150 seats.
Nice.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, so what else is going on? What are you guys? Let me ask you this. Is there bands that are new prog bands that you're into that a lot of us out here who like it and like the style but tend to lean more towards the stuff we grew up with? I've been finding a niche of other prog bands that I can't speak fluently about it yet, but I was just read an article a couple of days ago, and there was 4 or 5 new prog bands. One of them was from Japan. It was unbelievable, and I think that bodes well for the medium.
I love playing prog. I love drumming it. I love singing it. I love playing it on guitar. Prog is like one of my favorite things ever. I love it.
No, there's new bands out there that are quite good. I haven't really explored a ton of it because the nature of what we do with Legion of Prague is classic prog. There's a ton of that we have to get under our belts in order to be able to play.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I've seen the show, and those songs, there's tunes you don't just go out and fake them. Unless you're really, really good or grew up played the material so many times as a kid, you know it and can pull it off. It's like playing Frank Zappa music. You better not show up and not know what you're doing. Like our friend Scott Schroen's band, they play Frank Zappa with 3 people sometimes, which blows me away because they pull it off and it sounds thick. But it would also sound much more like Frank having 12 musicians and a marimba player and horns.
When it all comes together, it's amazing. There's no doubt about it.
But I'm the world needs more good music that's that long form, whatever you like, whether it's jazz or prog. I think it's,
the world needs a timeout with prog.
People need more intellectual stimulation to grow brain cells and not just hear.
Well, I got a question for you. I mean, and this is kind of a philosophical question. But, like, one thing I noticed in society is everyone's attention span is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And all media is clipped, to fit into someone's attention span instead of expanding the mind. How does prog fit in there? Because isn't it the exact opposite? You have to, get someone's brain to, be able to sit there and appreciate it.
Great point.
It doesn't fit easily.
Right, not easy. That's what I mean. You're fighting an uphill battle and you're doing awesome. But it's the way I see it, with society, it must be hard for new prog bands to get off the ground, because
it's always
you're
geeks,
fighting
musicians like us who like that stuff and will push them out there. Think of Dream Theater,
yeah. And
They're
unfortunately,
there's this quote about that, Mandy. The quote was, if you play 3 chords, you play to 3,000. If you play 3,000 chords, you usually play to 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. It's like Alan Holdsworth. He's not selling out stadiums,
Yeah, because I was talking about that with one of my bandmates the other day. I was because I have this whole philosophy about the dumbing down of people's ears. Because sometimes people will come up to me friends and go, well, listen, I'm good, how come they're playing and I'm not playing? And I'll go, well, unfortunately, there's different levels. Think of your ears as a tool. Okay. However sharp that is, you have to find people who have the same sharpness. I'm not putting a level of good, bad, or anything like that. I'm just saying, So it's
I think just personality is so much the biggest factor of a successful bandmate is how easily they take bad news or how they interact. Are they good people to work with? If you say to them, hey, I like your part, but can you try this? And they don't get all, snotty and.
Well, what do you think, though? I mean, you play prog, and so you got a pretty good answer to that question. When you've made music throughout your career, have your more difficult songs been the ones that people shy away from, or are they more interested in it, or your easier songs?
Well, there's 2 different answers to that question, Irish. One has to do with how musicians look at it, and the other is how the audience looks at it. The musicians, if we talk about playing an epic length song, they usually are like, oh, man, where do I start? Because they don't have the opportunity to do that very often.
Right.
Yeah.
The audiences for our band tend to enjoy it, but it's not something we can hit them over the head with right out of the gate. I mean, Neil's been to our shows, and he's seen how we pace them. We generally have some of the shorter things, the 4 or 5 minute songs at the top of the first set to warm people up, so that when they're about halfway through the first set, we think they're ready, and then we start breaking out the long Yes and Genesis and much stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I went through that when I learned how to play La Villa Strangiato on the drums, and I worked so hard on it. I worked so hard on it for so long, and we killed it. And I got a better reaction from Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I love both these songs, but
Yeah.
You have to get people in the zone.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah, that's a really great point. You're exactly right. Like,
and
you
every
know, like
audience
you're
is
warming
different.
up their ears. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: how long did you guys take when you first got together and decided to start playing these tunes? How long did it take you to put the band together with rehearsals? I'm curious because I don't think this
Oh,
is a
God
2 week.
almighty.
We're
This is
going
a
on the
long
road.
story, man. We first started talking about putting this band together almost 7 years ago now. And we went through the typical going around our circle of friends, putting ads up on Bandcamp and Craigslist and stuff like that. And we got our first edition of the band together in the spring of 2018. And we went through a couple of people who didn't fit really quickly. We got to the point where we had the right people together by late 2019, and we scheduled our first gigs in early 20. And of course, COVID hit.
Right.
Which caused us to lose our lead singer, and ultimately we lost our keyboard player too. Which sucked at the time, but the good news is the people that we replaced those two individuals with are the people who are in the band now, and they're phenomenal players.
Oh yeah.
We have a really tight group of people together now.
Absolutely. And I say that anybody knows me, if these guys pulled it off. I was watching y'all, just that you were out and about for a long time before we met, and I was like, it just happened. We were in the studio that day. It was a very
we happened to be in the same room and didn't know each other, but Neil's like, oh, you're from that band? Really?
Yeah, the light bulb went off. I went, oh, I know these guys, you know. And
it's always cool too when you get in them rooms and you get with guys you've never played with before, and all of a sudden you just start playing and it clicks.
Yes.
You can't really explain what it is. Some people have it and some people don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't know the it until you have the it.
Yeah,
hey,
it's
we've
really
got to
cool
run
when that
into a
happens.
quick break. Hang on 1 minute. Actually, you know what? Fuck the break. All the paying stuff's been paid. I'm just going to make an executive decision here. Sorry about that. So the guys that quit, they just quit because you guys had a bad night, the first night, and they couldn't stand the strain, or what was the deal with that?
Oh, there's different reasons all the way around. One guy, a keyboard player, quit because it was clear that he wanted to be the band leader and musical director, and there were at least two others of us in the band that didn't agree that it should all be with one person.
Gotcha.
So that didn't fit for him, and he left. Our original lead singer left after COVID, mostly because he just wanted to keep busy, and without COVID, there was not really an outlet to be able to do that. He was also quite a bit younger than the rest of us, too. The youngest guy in our band is age 54. The singer that I'm talking about at the time he was with us was 23, and he was excellent. But there's a definitely large difference when you're dealing with people who are a generation apart, even if they...
The soft spot hasn't filled in yet.
Yeah, musical maturity.
Yeah.
And that happens.
The whole different brain part working.
Yeah.
Downstairs. I mean, I was 23 once.
Well,
hanging off the wall, messing up the fire systems.
I was the youngest guy in a band full of 30-year-olds when I was like in 18, 19, and it was nuts. They'd be like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I'd be like wincing, you know. I had a guy, a redneck, just go, I don't need some 17-year-old punk fucking drummer from New York telling me how to run my goddamn band. Now shut the fuck up. And I just was like, oh, man.
So the day I realized that we were onto something with this band was, I think it was the second or third rehearsal we did. We were at Red Bank Rehearsal Studio.
Oh, yeah.
On a Sunday night. And we were closing up, and a guy was looking for the studio that his band was supposed to be with.
Right.
And he walked in the middle of us finishing a King Crimson song, a song called Starless, which is more than a little bit intense as far as its length and its content. And long story short, this fellow, as it turned out, was the roadie for the Frank Zappa tribute band Project Object. And he's like, are you guys actually playing King Crimson? And we said, yes, we are. And we got invited to their session as a result. And I was thinking to myself, okay, this is telling me there really is a market for this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's a great
That's
little
great.
place, Red Bank Recording. I've been there, all kinds of people over the years. Hey, we're down here. It's a good deal. Really pretty cool. Have you been to the one up here in, it's like over the Driscoll Bridge. It's out like where Bon Jovi came from, whatever that little,
That's Sayreville you're talking about.
Sayreville, yeah. It's like kind of out in an industrial park. You have to drive through the middle of like this really,
Phil Pager.
it's
He's turning
grimy, let's say that.
into Batman.
Batman, grimy.
Baseman. Boom, 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 boom.
Didn't mute my phone. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm sorry, I'm experimenting for the intro or the exit. We've got a couple of comments here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, good morning, Brian Kuiper. Wow, and Tyler
Hey,
Mansfield.
dude.
Hey,
Tyler.
good morning.
Wow, man, good to hear from you, buddy.
This
It's
seems to be the
been a
morning
long time.
you haven't seen in a while to show up.
Tyler,
Yeah, it kinda
I'd
ended
love
up
to
that
have
way.
you on, man. The last time you weren't feeling well, but Tyler is an incredible banjo player. And when I say incredible, this dude could play prog banjo style, and he'd probably do it. One of the few people I know could sit down and probably pull off, like, just do it. He's brilliant, and heck of a guy. For anybody out there, I'm talking about Tyler Mansfield. He's been on the show, and if you look in our first and third season, I believe he was on, both times towards the end of the year in the fall, I believe. Pretty sure. So Tyler, reach out, man. I'll reach out to you after the show. I had the drummer for, what's the band, that song? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Eye of the Tiger.
I know
Survivor.
this.
Survivor.
So I had this. I
My
had to
ADHD
play it
is
because I knew the song. How do I get on? Well, we're about to end right now, but if you'd like, I'd love to have you on next weekend. We'll have you on next Friday at this time, and we'll have a great time. I'd love to have you back. It'd be really fun. Where are you living at now, man? He's been down in Virginia in the past. Are you still in Virginia, or are you somewhere else? Yeah, Brian, it's good to see you, man. It's been a long time. Brian's also one of our fans from like the first year of the show, second year. Great guy.
Nice.
He's not a musician, but he should be.
You get the redheads to show up and our ginger powers unite. We bring the world together.
I'll bring my
Fuego.
daughter, man. We'll have a real bunch of hot red gingers, man, running amok. Nothing like a big crowd of them, man. Tell you what, guys, be careful. They're
Bring the
fierce.
sunblock and the mace.
It happened to me too. I married one. Lasted 16 years. Oh, he's in
Blowy
Illinois.
Ted. I was literally
I
at the
resemble
beach
that
for
remark.
weeks.
I had to come.
They said I needed a tan. I just tattooed it
around
on.
May go live if anyone's interested. You're gonna go live today? Is that what you mentioned, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Excellent. Well, if you go live, man, just drop me a text or tell me now when you're going to go live. In fact, tell everybody. You got thousands of people just waiting on your every word, man, including myself.
We got a minute.
Minute to win it. I
Neil's
just showed my
ADHD
son
is
that.
kicked in, Bill. Don't mind him.
Hot the teacher! Yeah! It's
Yeah.
bad!
That
It's so
guy's
bad!
That intro lick with those foot pedals, that guy is tough.
I love. Oh.
Yeah.
I want to do that song so bad.
He had
I
a
brought
trigger
my
that was being hand triggered while he was playing the
I'm
triple bass
changing.
thing. Newly sober. All right, man. Congratulations, my friend. I'm glad to hear that. That's
Cool,
really a
dude.
motherfucker.
Excellent.
And I'm proud of you, buddy. Stay the course, man. If you're ever on the ledge, give me a ring. It happens, and it's really hard to do, but I'm proud of you, man. Everybody, say a big hand. It's hard to get sober, people.
It is.
And if you are, and you're confused, all I can say is just give me a call. I'll tell you what works for me. You know what works? That was drink. It's the only thing that'll work. So I'll tell you, if
Yeah.
you're trying to get sober, call me. My suggestions are really stupid, man. They're easy shit. When you think about, you want to have a drink, do something. Whatever it is. Play guitar, learn a new language, read a book.
That's
Which
right.
I've always been a reader, but if I hadn't, when I was trying to get sober, been a reader, I would have never. I wasn't reading shit about how to get sober. It doesn't work for people like me. I'm an animal, man. You know, you either do it or you don't, and that's all I'll say to anybody. So if you want to get straight, you can do it, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm going on 6 years now, so I pat my own back because fucking A.
Yeah.
Hard shit to do, and I have no secret formula. I wish I did, you know. If you could just go to somebody, here's all you got to do, man. It worked great.
Mind over
I'd
matter,
be
baby.
rich.
If it was
I could
easy,
probably go
everybody
out
would
and sell. I could probably sell that to somebody, some poor fuck, take their money. But that's the problem with recovery places. There's places that you go into, they don't do shit for your recovery. You sit around with a bunch of other disturbed or really hurt and damaged people, and they've got problems, and they're not going to be solved by not having quality therapy. Or I could go for years about just in general how bad our mental health system is. It's screwed.
Right.
In fact, one of these days, you know, I almost feel like sometimes on the show we have to have a serious show and then just have a music show that we just do music, because I get all rambunctious about some of this shit.
Right.
It
Bill,
really
where are
would
you
be
gonna be
cool to
playing
have.
at?
I'd love to have people from both sides not fight, but literally sit down and go,
That'd
here,
be
we'll
nice.
I'll raise you $1 on this issue. Let's do this one. Maybe have poker for getting shit done in the country. Smart people playing poker to solve problems. I like this one, though. He's going to be a quail rancher, and he'll trade me. He wants a young raven. Well, you'll have plenty of food, I guess. Call me crazy, but
Hey,
yeah,
Neil,
the
remind me
Raven,
where Bill's going to be playing at again?
The
The
Vogel
Vogel
at the Count
Theater.
Basie Theater, September 13th.
Cool.
there you go, peeps. I got to go, too, because that gives me a good excuse. It's my birthday weekend, so.
Oh, is it? No kidding.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Nice.
an old guy, a little older guy, on the 10th, and 13th's perfect time.
26
as
is
well.
mine.
Good time. It's always a good time to go hear prog live. I swear. And this time I won't be sitting there worried if I can hear, you know, I won't be like, I'll be actually sitting there going, yeah, good shit.
Nice.
Enjoying it.
Plenty of good seats available.
Well,
Cool,
We
man.
can't take that when we have other shows coming up too.
yeah, go ahead. You got the time. Lay it out.
Take us
for
out,
everybody.
man.
Oh, besides the Vogel show, we are playing at the Strand Center for the Arts in Lakewood on November 8th, at the Landis Theater in Vineland on November 22nd, and we've got shows in the spring at 118 North in Philly, at the Kennett Square in Philly, and at the Dunellen Theater in Dunellen, New Jersey.
All right.
Nice.
How
Nice.
about it, people? You got
And
plenty of
before
shit.
we go, though, it's Susan's birthday on Sunday.
Yay!
Before we go,
Oh, right.
we have to wish her a happy birthday. Very important. Susan,
One.
happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
2, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you.
Cha
And
cha
many
cha.
more.
More. Happy birthday, Susan. You're the best. Thank you so much for watching all these years and putting up with our malarkey. And that's a great word from Joe Biden. And yeah, Tyler, it's great to hear from you, man. I'm really happy to hear that you're doing well. I love seeing people just kick some ass. It's always good. All right, people, we're going to be back at 4 o'clock today, and we're going to have the lovely and talented Maggie Kortchmar, wife of Cooch. And we don't need to talk about Cooch today at all. We're going to talk about Maggie and her songwriting and her kick-ass career, because she is awesome. And she's pretty good looking, too, I might say. She's one of Don Henley's backup singers, I think someone told me. And I know Don always hires, you know, best you can get, man. Guy's got some great backup singers. I've seen them live. Damn, what a great show. I personally rather go see Don than the Eagles, not because I don't like the Eagles. I just heard all their shit and played it so many millions of times myself that I kind of, I'd rather go see Don with doing what he does. He always has cool special guests. You know, Sheryl Crow will come wandering out, or, you know, any number of cool people. But all right, everybody, have a great day. Have a great weekend. I hope life is treating you good. Tyler, I'm going to talk to you after the show. I'm going to give you a call, man.
Nice meeting you, Bill.
Yeah, really.
Fine, thank you.
So we'll see you
Bye,
next time.
Mandy.
Yeah, nice
Bye-bye,
meeting you
everybody.
guys. Bye.